Welcome to Voice of Niger TV Daily Newspaper Review, where you get the insight of both local, national, and international newspaper front pages.
Jumat Mubarak to our esteemed listener out there. I am Fatima Abdullahi Muhammad, and I welcome you to another new edition of Voice of Niger TV Newspaper Review. I do come with different newspapers, both international and Nigerian newspapers, and I'll be giving you the headlines. If any of the headlines fascinate you, go to the nearest vendor, get a copy of the newspaper, and get through to the details. Let's begin with the Punch, and from this newspaper, I'll be giving you the following headlines. Insecurity. U.S. approves $1 billion attack helicopters. Orders for Nigeria. Buhari meets service chiefs. You can get that from page 7 and 8. Insists Nigerian military must undergo human rights related training. It has a rider. PDP knocks APC over killings, kidnappings, says ruling party has failed. We can see a picture where families of kidnapped Kaduna train passengers ground appeal to bandits. That's from the Punch newspaper. Consumer Group orders kick as reps clear dirty fuel importers. You can get that from page 20. Chibok, parents again demand action 8 years after kidnapping. You can get that from page 9 of the Punch newspaper. MK Abiola's eldest son, Kola, joins politics. It's in page 14. Plateau attack, community buries 106. Local government chairman says men missing. You can get that from page 8. Above the nameplate of the Punch, federal government fixes April 2023 for first census in 17 years. You can get that from page 13. And lastly, clearing agents reject customs 15% levy on imported vehicles. You can get that from page 20. That's all I'll be giving you from the Punch newspaper. Let's move on to leadership, and from this newspaper I have the following headlines. Rising insecurity. You must act now. Council of State tells President Muhammadu Buhari. You can get that from page 4. It has about 2 riders. Asks President to meet with service chief to find lasting solution to killings. Grant state's pardon to Nyame Darie. 157 other inmates reject 3. Zamfara government arrests 2 emirs over banditry. NAS approves 4 trillion naira for fuel subsidy. 73 per barrel dollar crude oil benchmark. You can get that from page 24. Cholera, measles kill 61 in Adamawa, Benue. You can get that from page 9. Troops kill 22 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists in Lake Chad. You can get the full story from page 11 of Leadership newspaper. DMO faults Lagos Chamber of Commerce on debt service to revenue ratio. You can get that from page 25. And lastly, from page 6, Easter Buhari governors orders preach peace and unity. That's all I'll be giving you from Leadership newspaper. From The Nation, I have the following headlines. Experts, economy will sink further with 4 trillion naira subsidy. It has about 2 riders. National Assembly revises medium-term expenditure framework. Please get additional 182 billion naira for salaries. Council of State okays pardon for Darie Nyame, 157 orders. It has about 3 riders. National honors for 434 Nigerians. Census to hold April 2023. Buhari summons security chiefs over killings, kidnapping. Exporters get 3.5 billion naira incentive from CBN. And above the nameplate of Nation, Anyim Obi consult Okwa in Asaba. You can get that from The Nation. It has a rider Wike Shons of Baseki. Buhari Lawan Tinubu urge hope at Easter.
The full story can be gotten from page 5. It has about 4 riders. Insecurity worries can. 21,039 policemen promoted. You can get that from page 3. Omisaris coming will retire some politicians, says Oyetola. That's from page 27. APC NEC to meet on Tuesday. You can get that from page 4. That's all I'll be giving you from the Nation newspaper. From the Daily Independent, I have the following headlines. 2023 presidential election. APC chief small northern candidate to checkmate PDP. We can see a picture where President Muhammadu Buhari by the right, Goodluck Jonathan, former president, by the second right, Yakubu Gowon, second left, and Abdulsalam Abubakar, both former heads of state, during the Council of States meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja on Thursday. NAS, OK 17.3 trillion naira revised 2022 budget, 4 trillion naira fuel subsidy. APC Congresses, hoodlums unleash violence, disrupt Bayelsa court session. The full story can be gotten from page 29. Insecurity, 11,536 schools closed in Nigeria since December 2020. That's coming from UNICEF. Gunmen shot third attacking Anambra police station. You can get that from page 6. It has a rider, INEC official shot third in Imo. And above the nameplate of Daily Independent, documents show OBJ approved transfer of OPL 245 to Malabu. And lastly, Easter security unity must guide our actions. Utterances. That's coming from Buhari. That's all I'll be giving you from the Daily Independent newspaper. From New Telegraph newspaper, I have the following headlines. 16 years after last head count, Nigeria gets April 2023 date for census. You can get that from page 2. NAS passes 17.3 trillion naira revised 2022 budget. You can get that from page 2 and 3. Buhari, Kalu preach love and patriotism at Easter. It has about 2 riders. IGP orders deployment of operatives assets nationwide. Drama in Abuja as criminals abandon children and wives. You can get that from page 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go back to your student. Federal government begs ASU. You can get that from page 3. CVR, INEC official killed. 2 missing as gunmen storm Imo voters registration center. You can get that from page 4. Chibok, 8 years after, 100 girls still missing. That's coming from BBOGM. You can get that from page 2 and 5. Above the nameplate of New Telegraph, Airlines Group rescind decision on ticket sale in dollars. And lastly, RT $200, CBN releases 3.5 billion naira to 150 exporters. You can get that from page 5 of New Telegraph newspaper, and that's all I'll be giving you from this newspaper. Daily Trust, I have the following headlines. 8 years after, 24 Chibok parents dead, 109 girls still in captivity. It has about 3 riders. BBOG 6 reforms against kidnapping. 1,500 students abducted. That's coming from Amnesty. 11,536 schools closed. That's coming from UNICEF. Why foreign airlines multi ticket sales in dollars? It has about 2 riders. Backtrack following uproar. Trapped funds push operators to edge. APC crisis. Talks invade Bayelsa court. Stone judge injured 3. Woman commits suicide over husband's plan to marry second wife. Still from the Daily Trust. 2023. Utomi Falana Banire float movement to banish APC and PDP. Council of State okays April 2023 for census. It has a rider, pardons 159 convicts. That's all I'll be giving you from Daily Trust newspaper. Let's move on to Jazeera, Nigeria, and from this paper I'll be giving you the following headlines. Federal government to spend 4 trillion naira on subsidy. You can get that from page 8. Council of State pardons 159 inmates, confirms 434 merits award. Jubilation as former governor of Plateau, Darie, walks to freedom. You can get the full story from page 11. Muslims to observe Ramadan fast twice in 2030. You can get the full story from page 3. Dirty fuel, reps rule out sanctions for NNPC orders. You can get that from page 9. Pay service point licenses threat to banking sector. That's coming from analysts, and you can get that from page 25. That's all I'll be giving you from Al Jazeera Nigerian newspaper. From Voice of Liberty, I have the following headlines. Council of State approves April 2023 for national census. Kaduna train attack, families besiege NHRC, demand release of abducted victims. Fear of abduction causing drop in school enrollment. That's coming from Amnesty International. Insecurity, Nigerian lawmakers knock Buhari, demand NSA Mongono sack. Easter message, we will soon triumph over uncertainty, insecurity. That's coming from Buhari. Russia warns of nuclear weapon deployment if Sweden, Finland join NATO. And lastly, Kaduna train terror attack victims countdown 18 days in captivity. That's all I'll be giving you from Voice of Liberty. Let's move on to Nigeria Tribunal. From this newspaper, I'll be giving you the following headlines. 2022 revised budget. NAS approves 4 trillion naira for fuel subsidy. That you can get that from page 5. It has about 3 riders. Please get 182 billion naira as salary increment. INEC allocated 219.544 billion naira. Federal government gives note to 17.320 trillion naira total budget for fiscal 2022. Get your NIN ready to board train from May. That's coming from NRC. You can get the full story from page 2. Federal government may conduct census April next year. You can get the full story from page 2022. It has a rider as Council of State okays pardon for 159 convicts. Gunmen kill INEC official in Imo during voter registration. You can get the full story from page 28. It has a rider, commission suspend exercise, and above the nameplate of Nigerian Tribune, consensus push on the way to prone PDP presidential aspirant to fall. You can get the full story from page 4. Plateau attack. We have buried 106 people so far, says local government chairman. You can get the story from page 29. And lastly, Tigbe joins PDP, may get senatorial ticket. The full story can be gotten from page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And lastly, from the Nigerian newspaper, I have The Guardian, and I'll be giving you the following headlines. At Easter, Buhari, Lawan, Atiku, Tinubu preach hope for Nigeria. It has about 3 riders. Nigeria will triumph over spate of evil, Buhari tells citizens. Khan urges government to ease hardship suffering in the nation. Nigerians lament hiking food prices, calling government for interventions. Amid war in Ukraine, disrupted academic program for returning students raised concerns. You can read the big story from page 4 and 5. Kidnappers of Abuja monarch give family 24 hours to pay 6 million naira. You can get the full story from page 29. Judge, lawyer scamper to safety as thugs invade Bayelsa High Court. You can get the story from page 28. Rivers PDP denies withholding nomination forms. You can get the full story from page 28. After APC's 8 disastrous years, power should move to the south, says Dele Momodu. You can get the full story on page 22 of Politics. Don't endanger national unity, stability. Southeast groups wants PDP and APC. You can get that from page 3. And lastly, all is not well with Lautech, ASU tells Makinde. You can get the full story from page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. That's all I'll be giving you from the Nigerian newspaper. If any of the headlines fascinates you, go to the nearest newspaper vendor, get a copy of the paper, and get through to the details. The international newspaper with me here is Daily Mail, and I'll be giving you the following headlines. Exclusive: Harry and Meghan secretly fly in to see Queen at Windsor. You can get the full story from page 5. Prime Minister: I won't let the left wreck Rwanda plan. And lastly, Boris migrant revolution, the complete blueprint. You can get the full story from page 6 to 9 of Daily Mail newspaper. Lastly, from the international newspaper, I have Daily Express, and I'll be giving you the following headlines. Harry and Meghan's secret visit to see Queen and Charles. You can get that from page 6 and 7. PM sends in Navy to control crisis in the Channel and vows no migrant boat will go undetected. That's all I'll be giving you from the international newspapers. If any of the headlines catches your attention, go to the nearest vendor and get a copy of the paper and read the full story.
We've come to the end of Voice of Niger TV newspaper review, and I hope you loved it. Do join me next week for another interesting edition. Until then, I am Fatima Abdullahi Muhammad. Bye for now.